We are going to start with Robbie Rock. Let's talk about this silly woman in the Caymans. Is this a truth, lie, or shenanigans?
This is truth and shenanigan, as it generally tends to be with our topics. So, Skylar Mack is an 18-year-old pre-med student at Mercer University from Georgia. Pre-med. So she's got some inkling as to what's going on out there. Her boyfriend, Vanjay Ramjeet, was in the Cayman Islands for a jet ski competition. Now, the Cayman Islands, since the COVID outbreak, has had 311 confirmed cases and 2 deaths. They've been managing it very well. Um, and now this young American couple was there. He did his, and when you arrive in the Cayman Islands, mandatory 2-week period of self isolation, and they give you a tracker that you have to wear. So please pardon the background noise. My cat has decided to find a plastic bag.
We can hear it. You're good.
It's amazing. Yeah. So what ended up happening is she, after a few days, joined her boyfriend at the competition and left the tracking device at the hotel where they were staying. So now, as a result of this, she was subsequently brought up on charges, and the charges and fines are very stiff in the Cayman Islands, as you can probably guess, with the amazing success that they've had managing the number of cases. So, yeah, 4-month jail sentence is what was initially laid down, but just in the last 24 hours, we've come to find that that sentence has actually been reduced to 2 months. And the family, of course, is petitioning. They're saying that this young girl is frantic. And I mean, I can't imagine you're 18-year-old in another country sitting in prison. That can't be a good time. So, my question to my co host is, does the punishment fit the crime? And I would like to hear from Johnny.
Johnny?
I would say I did read the article that you sent us as well. So I do know a little bit of the backstory. There, Cayman Islands has about 64,000, I think, residents and only about 300 cases of COVID. So that tells you, how strict they are on protocol when it comes to COVID-19. They're not playing it. So I think that it's hard to say she's 18, she's just a kid kind of thing. And I feel like in the West, we always kind of use that, especially in the United States. But in this case, no. I kind of feel like her sentence of 2 months, I want to say it's harsh, but I feel like when you step into other people's territory, it's you got to abide by the law. So I don't feel bad for her. I'm sorry. I wouldn't want it to be me, but no.
I agree. Go ahead, Lizzie.
So, Skylar, you in danger, girl. First of all, she is lucky that she was in the Cayman Islands versus North Korea. In North Korea, she would have probably been given a life sentence, probably shackled, beaten in the public sphere, and then we never would have heard from her again. You cannot, and
No.
people
I don't know
very
that.
what? What?
I
Do
mean, it
you
might
not
be
remember?
bad, but I don't know about all that.
Do you not remember the young man that was locked up in North Korea?
I
I think
remember.
he stole a sign.
Yeah,
He
he saw the
stole a
sign,
sign.
propaganda sign. Yep.
Yep.
They sent him back to us. And how did that work? What happened?
He died,
He
right?
died.
Yeah.
He died. This is a lesson, a message to all of you out there, young and old, whether you're 18, whether you're 81. First of all, you need to abide by the laws in this country. But you certainly cannot go to a foreign country and think that you have the same privilege that you have here in America, that you have the same blonde hair, blue, green eye privilege that you have here in America. You have to adhere to the laws of the land. It's not only disrespectful, but it also shows that your mama did not raise you right. And so, do I think that the punishment was too harsh? Absolutely not. I think she should have gotten a minimum of 6 months. Minimum 6 months, and they should flag her passport so she can never return to the Cayman Islands again.
I agree to that.
Neil?
All right, so I don't know. You guys probably won't like my take on it.
Do we ever?
Most of y'all won't. All right, so this is the second week in a row that. Oh, did you have something to say, Robbie? You look like you were about to say something.
No, please go ahead, Neo.
Second week in a row that Rob's picked a topic where we're talking about other sovereign nations. I was actually curious to hear everyone's response, considering the last time everyone was like, they were wrong for giving her 10 years, the Iranian girl, and they were wrong for it. And personally,
Okay, go ahead. I see I'm going to have to scream on you again, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Dio.
well, with that said, in my opinion, I personally don't think 4 months is enough. People are dying every single day, thousands, by the thousands. And many of us just can't follow simple rules. People are just selfish, right? If you can't follow rules, then you need to pay the consequences.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I mean, you, especially if you're going somewhere. She didn't have to go to the Caymans. You don't want to follow their rules, don't go.
Yeah.
Not only did she not
And
have to go,
she went.
No, go ahead, Rob. Go ahead, Rob.
She went as a support role to support her boyfriend who was in competition, and that's it. Just knowing what the rules are, and she was at that competition day for 7 hours without wearing a mask, not doing any of the social distancing, and they have this documented. So, I mean, she absolutely took her blonde hair, blue-eyed, green-eyed privilege from the United States and brought it to a foreign nation. And at which point they went, sure, you're from America, so here's your cell. Congratulations, you messed up. And I can appreciate where the family would be petitioning for this young woman. I mean, she's 18 years old. It's
Scary.
but if that is the age of majority, you are an adult at that point. You should be making those intelligent decisions. Liz, you got your hand up. You're revved up and good to go.
I just wonder because again, when I was 18, at the same age, at 18, I went to live in a foreign country. And so my question to the family is, did you guys not give her the lecture on how to behave when she leaves home and goes into someone else's house? Because even though, I was leaving on the heels of my dad's death and everyone was feeling sorry for me, my mother still sat me down and told me to be on my best behavior and to not embarrass the family. So did she not get the talk that most of us would have gotten? And also too, we need to emphasize the fact that yes, she was 18, but she's pre-med. She's pre-med. She knows the implications of being in this situation and possibly spreading this virus to an entire island. Like Johnny said, there are only 64,000 people who live there. We currently have more millions of people who are infected here.
Yeah,
She
you
could
could
have
wipe
wiped
out the whole island.
exactly.
Oh yeah.
So I thought she got off easy. I really thought she got off easy. But that's what happens a lot of times with, and not just with blonde hair, blue-eyed privilege, with American privilege. A lot of times Americans don't think that the rules apply to us. We think that, somehow that we are superior or we are above it all, especially when we travel abroad. I've seen it so many times. And if you are an American abroad with some sense, watching your fellow Americans, you're embarrassed and you're looking like, what are you doing? Act right. Like it's no. So people, when and if we get a chance to, go travel freely, please make sure that you are abiding by the law. Be respectful, not only of the
You are
country you're going to, but also be respectful in terms of representing the United States.
but keep in mind that while you are a citizen of whatever nation, while you are visiting abroad, you are a guest of that nation. Your rights and privileges don't apply. They really don't. So that's it. It's a responsibility to be prepared, to know what the laws are. If I'm going to operate a vehicle in a foreign nation, I need to know which side of the road to drive on, what the speed limit is. And Liz, you're right. It's I know that during times of travel, we typically play that game. Well, can you spot the Americans? And they're typically pretty easy to find. And anytime that I've traveled, that's the first approach. Typically, people come up to you and say, "Oh, you're American." No, we're Canadian. Oh, you're Canadian. This is why they sell faux Canadian traveler kits for American people with your little Canadian flag pin, with expressions to use to pass off as Canadian, so that you don't get the international hate on for America.
So then my question to you guys, this is my question to you guys. So how do you think the international community is looking at us? Um, we think we sit here thinking that this is too much. This is enough time. This is less. I think all of us agree that this is not enough time for this particular individual. But if you look at what's happening in the U.S., people are walking around freely with masks, breaking rules all the time, fighting other people to break the rules, and there's no consequences for it. So, when the international community is looking at the U.S. and we're talking about, hey, we should be doing this, we should be doing that, and we're telling other countries, you're wrong for this or you're right for this. I mean, when you look at the U.S., we need some laws, and we need to be doing the same things. I mean, we need to increase our rules and our penalties for breaking the rules for COVID. It's hard to kind of, I don't know.
And I have a lot of hope that that's coming in January when there's the changing of the guard. I really hope that the health and medical policies are going to become more stringent and more enforceable. I hope that it's going to be a huge wake-up call for that alt-right that's fighting for their right to not wear masks and be controlled.
I think other countries are laughing at us.
I think
we are.
Rob, your question.
You said we are.
What do we think other countries are thinking about America? I mean, Rob B, are we allowed in Canada yet? Nope. Are we allowed in the EU yet? Nope. I mean, there are countries that we still cannot go to because of our high surging COVID numbers. So that's what the world thinks of us. They think we are the problems.
And this is sort of what I was saying last week is like, when other countries are looking at us while we're talking about what they're doing, Trump is killing 4 out of 5 black men in the penal system, and then, and if I recall, everybody but Gianni was okay with that except for the black part, the racial inequities. Gianni was the killing part. I think we were all in agreement on.
I'm talking about.
But we got life sentences for weed. We got life sentences. We got and the other side of it, we got people getting off for murdering people in the streets. I mean, I think other countries. We always look at other countries and call them third world countries and what they're doing to their citizens. I'm telling you, it's probably, I'm sure they're laughing at us, but it's probably worse when you start thinking about crime outside of crimes against humanity and stuff like that. Well, when you're looking just at the penalties for minor crimes, inequalities of race and gender or religion, the U.S. is probably a way worse place to live than the so-called third world, or as Trump would say, S-hole countries and stuff like that. I mean, I'm just saying, and this is part of what I was saying last week. I mean, America, the U.S., it's hard to throw rocks. We got a lot to work on in the U.S. We got a lot to work on.
Oh yeah.
It's a conversation for a different show because I can give you some countries where it's way worse than here.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not counting crimes against humanity, genocide, stuff like that, torture.
I don't think it's something that we need to compare, though. I think we need to address each issue as it comes before us. And
I'm just trying to look from the other perspective, from the outside looking in. I mean, other countries have to be looking at us saying.
Well, of course they are. Of course they are. Yeah. But some of those same other countries that are looking at us pointing the finger have some of the worst crime, the worst government atrocities on the planet.
Sure.
So it's it just depends on the circumstance.
I just think we have a lot to.
It's a lot to unpack.
Because we do spend a lot of time in other countries' business. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
Well, we spend a lot of time in other countries' business, but we also give aid to a lot of other countries. Like it goes both ways.
I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, actually.
It goes both ways.
Very good point as well. You're right. We do give a lot of aid to those countries. All right. All right, a lot of comments online. A lot of comments online. Let's see. We got okay. There's a few people commenting about me. I don't remember. Let's see. We got
Do not read personal
false
attacks.
equivalency. Neo. Mike from Mike Winter. Mel Blaine says, "Scream on him, please, Lizzie Enders." Um, Candace Winston says, "Didn't she remove her tracker?"
Yes.
Yes, she does.
She did.
Yes.
Jacqueline Robbins said, "The stereotype of the ugly American." Kevin Thaxton says, "The military says we are ambassadors."
Mhm.
Al-
Just for the tracker thing, in the United States, if you remove your tracker, those are extra charges. That is also an offense. That is also a crime. So again, she got off lucky.
he did.
Lucky.
He did. And then let's see. Mike Winter says they feel sorry for us. They probably do.
My fans feel sorry for me. Let me tell you,
Mhm.
they feel sorry for me. I think even some of the Dominicans feel sorry for me at this point.
And Kevin Thaxton, who's in the military, said, and don't forget, I almost didn't get to come back to the States because of these COVID-19 issues. All right. So, very good topic. Very good topic. Thank you, Robbie Rock.
Good time.
Oh, good discussion. Thank you.
All right. Let's move on to